Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. First of all, thank you to all those people who tuned in to the live streams for Zverev versus Davidovich, Fokina, and also for the Tsitsipas Medvedev live stream as well. I wasn't even expecting to do the Tsitsipas Medvedev one, but managed to get some free time. So thank you for those who did. I did pretty much the first two sets, and luckily it wasn't a five-set thriller, but both matches pretty good in their own way. I think obviously Tsitsipas and Medvedev was played at higher level as you'd probably expect. Wasn't really so one way, although Tsitsipas played unbelievably well. Okay, let's start off with Tsitsipas versus Medvedev then, because obviously that was the match of the day in terms of the matchup. Obviously, bad blood between the two, and genuinely, I think we just had. I mean, Medvedev has had a head-to-head of 6-1 going into this, and now 6-2, and it was a question of can Tsitsipas put that behind him and really utilize his game, which is so suited to the clay compared to Medvedev, effectively in this match, and can Medvedev really get the mental edge and also carry through some of the form that he's found here at Roland Garros after not winning a single match at this tournament in previous years. So look, I think for me, and I said this before, Tsitsipas slightly edged it for me, but I said it would be tight, and obviously the scoreline suggests it was quite a tight three sets, despite Tsitsipas getting through in straight sets. But Tsitsipas won 6-3, 7-6, 6-5 as well. I'm going to quickly do a very quick rundown as well of some of the stats because I think they're quite interesting. So if we have a look here, you can see aces. Medvedev, by the way, some of his serving at times is unbelievably huge. I mean, he was serving like 264 kilometers per hour, like some just ridiculous serving. So 5 aces for him and 3 for Tsitsipas, double faults 1 for Tsitsipas, 0 for Medvedev. But the first set percentage, so you might look at that and say, well, hold on, Medvedev's got 67% compared to 63% from Tsitsipas, but it's the win percentage on the first serve. So behind that first serve, Tsitsipas was winning 73% of points and 77% on the second serve, which is really impressive. For Medvedev, 60% off both. And the break points obviously makes a big difference. 4 out of 7 for Tsitsipas, 2 out of 8 for Medvedev. Receiving points 1 as well, and that definitely is a telling stat. 43 compared to 27, and we'll touch on that in a second in more detail because I think, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, I genuinely think that both these guys are good servers. And I think we can both agree, or all of us can agree, that they are good servers. I think the biggest thing for me is the returning. And there was question marks around Tsitsipas returning off the ATP World Tour Finals, where he wasn't doing pretty well. And that's something that definitely needs to improve. Similarly with Medvedev in the Australian Open final, again, people were saying, look, I think I said this anyway after doing the live stream and watching it, that his returning needs to improve. It just wasn't good enough in that match, and it was disappointing, to be honest with you. And it's the main reason why he got beaten the way he did in that final, after a lot of people actually backed him. Now here again, his returning, look, it's definitely improved, but it's still not at the level that I expect when it comes to playing elite tennis matches against the top players, especially on a surface where Tsitsipas is very comfortable on the surface. Medvedev had to be very good on the returns, and when he had success. But Tsitsipas, for me, was a better returner on the day. And a lot of the time we talk about serving, but because both were pretty similar in their serves, and they both have pretty good serves, they're quite good behind them, especially Tsitsipas when he comes to the net as well for the 1+ shot, serving and volleying, and Medvedev as well also switched it up after that first set and did pretty well behind the serve in large periods as well. But it was returning, and Tsitsipas returned really well in that first set, really deep, got a lot of balls back, and just kept on pressing. Kept on pressing on Medvedev's service game, saying, you know what, I'm here. I'm going to keep on making sure that you have to play your 1+, your 2+, your 3+ shot after serving. And Tsitsipas was really good, especially the backhand return as well, which obviously is seen as his weaker side. I thought it was really impressive in large parts. And we also saw that in the second and third set as well. Not at all times, but for big periods, and that made the biggest difference for me on that. Interesting to see how he does, obviously, against Zverev in the semi-final. I would definitely I would edge towards Tsitsipas. I actually picked him to make the final, so I'm going to stick with that. But it will be a tough test, no doubt. But Zverev for me, and I'm just going to touch upon him. Today, he just was not. And look, in that first set is one of the worst first sets of tennis I've seen in quite a long time. Just because, in terms of the actual look, if we're talking about quality from both players, overall quality, it was just really poor. A lot of unforced errors, a lot. I think the first set percentage was 40% for Zverev in that first set, and he managed to win it. So it says a lot of breaks of serve. I think they broke each other like 4 or 5 times. There were 4 or 5 breaks of serve, I think, in that first set, and it was just like, what is going on? This is just crazy tennis going on. A lot of balls flying flying long, flying wide. But then that second and third set, he found his rhythm a lot more, especially in that third set. But I'll touch upon that in a second. But the second and third set, he definitely played a lot more consistently. The unforced errors, I think, was the biggest thing. They completely dissipated. I mean, he went from having, a number of unforced errors in that first set to having, I think it was only 2 in that third set. And that look, he's a rhythm player. He's someone who, as soon as he's in front, he definitely has the tools to hurt you. And with his tail up, he just is so formidable. And in that third set, I think he had a first set percentage of something unbelievable, like 90%, if I'm not mistaken. It was just ridiculous. I think yeah, it was just really, really big stuff from Zverev. Really impressive stuff from him as well. And he just completely blitzed Davidovich Fokina in the second and third set. And Davidovich Fokina just looked really, really out of sorts after, he was 2 breaks up, as in he'd broken. So he was 1 break up, and then Zverev broke back, and then he broke him again. Was a break up, and then Zverev broke him back again. Then it was on serve, and then Zverev broke him, and you could just tell David Fokina was like, I have really, really let myself down, and I was in a good position. I've blown it, and he had drop shots, etc. as well, which were going quite well in the first set, just wasn't working in the second set. So that's going to be a really, really intriguing quarterfinal. Let's see how it goes. Okay, let's move on to the women's then, briefly, because look, I watched both matches actually. To be fair, so I can give you a little bit on it. But Badosa Gibert had chances, man. I mean, she played very well in the first set. I actually thought she was going to win that. Zidansek came back really well to win 7-5, 4-6, 8-6. Now, this final set was really good. And to be honest with you, both of them going to best of, yeah, and both of them going to first to 2 clear games past your your 7-5, which was really cool to see actually. And both players, Zidansek and Pavlyuchenkova, will be relatively fatigued after this, but they'll be in the same boat, so that's what will make it interesting. But also good. But I was actually backing her to win, so a little bit of an upset for me here. But yeah, she had her chances, but Zidansek was very solid. Pavlyuchenkova coming through against Rybakina, she's a big server, very tall, good at pretty good ground strokes as well. Pavlyuchenkova lost the first set 7-6, won the second one 6-2. And then Rybakina had chances again in that final set, but Pavlyuchenkova coming through 9-7. So very, very impressive stuff for her. Her first Grand Slam semi-final, I think, for both of these players. So this is going to be intriguing, and we're going to have, and they're both, one of them, sorry, even, is going to make their first ever Grand Slam final. So really exciting. And look, it's definitely exciting to have these new players come through, but I think also it's slightly worrying that, I think the highest seed in the in the draw so far for the women's is a number 8 seed, and that's Swiatek, who is the reigning champion, so fine, but she's the only one, and doesn't make good reading for me. I don't know why, but I thought we were getting to a stage where the women's game was like the overall quality had come back to where it should be. I don't know whether it's just because I'm not sure. Maybe it's the clay. Who knows? But either way, some really good matchups underway, and who knows? We might even get another new Grand Slam winner in the women's and the men's. But yeah, anyway, tomorrow, obviously, Nadal versus Berretini. Nadal versus Schwartzman and Djokovic versus Berretini. I will be trying to live stream at least one of those, if not both. So keep an eye out for them. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 11 and the second round of the quarterfinal matchups. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much.